Hello and welcome to the Erskine Arts YouTube channel. How are you doing? Hope you're well. I'm Jason and this is a little thing we call vinyl chat or music chat or whatever we're going to call it. I think music chat's what we're going to go for. This is the first episode, but we are going to talk about vinyl records today and if you should collect them, pros and cons, if there's any of either, and just a little bit about it to see if you want to start buying vinyl records. This is a vinyl record. So vinyl records come in different sizes. They come most regularly in 12-inch and 7-inch. There's a 7-inch there, Fatboy Slim, Hot Leg, you should check them out, amazing artists, oops. Yeah, so these are the kind of two most common sizes of vinyl. So you want to get started and you want to know why. So there's lots of stigma attached around people starting out buying vinyl, and a lot of people that listen to vinyl are maybe audiophiles and they're super passionate about it and they're really pernickety about the stuff that they do and really choosy. But if one of your biggest draws for buying vinyl records is that you just like the way they look, then that's fine, that's great. You know, you're still buying them and it's a great way to support artists buying physical media. And when you have records that look like this, it's easy to see why people want to buy them. Thumbnail. It's easy to see why people would like to buy them. This is like a tie-dye Fatboy Slim vinyl. Yeah, so one of the biggest draws for buying vinyl is that it's an experience much more than anything else, much more than a CD or a tape. When you buy a CD, you know, they kind of look like office equipment, office stationery, just little plastic cases. Even the deluxe versions aren't that deluxe, but when you buy a vinyl, it's an experience. There's a lot to hold. You might get a gatefold vinyl that opens up, it's got beautiful artwork, an inner sleeve, coloured vinyl, much like in this and other ones that I've got. It is the closest we can get to physically holding music, is what I like to think of vinyl. So that is some people's biggest draw to buying vinyl, is that, you know, it's just so tangible to be able to grab and have a collection. So that could be a big draw for you to buy vinyl, and that is absolutely fine. But there's some pros that come along with that. Another big pro then, if you start buying vinyl, because the way they look, is the sound quality. Now, people will debate this to the end of the earth, whether it actually does sound better than CD or if CD does sound better because it's clean and digital and it's a pure, you know, signal from the original recording. But people like the warmth that comes with analog. So here's my opinion. Yes, analog, and vinyl sound amazing. Potentially not, depending on the record player you use, but we'll get onto that. But it doesn't sound bad, vinyl, so certainly does sound good. What happens is the needle physically goes along the grooves are cut to the wavelength of the song you're listening to, and that produces the sound. Then your record player and your speakers you will amplify it. Whereas a CD is just digital, you know, it's read off of the disc. So, yep, vinyl does sound good, check the box. But there's a few more things to think about. If you buy vinyl and if you want to start getting into that, you're going to have to buy a record player and potentially speakers and potentially an amplifier. So a lot of record players don't have a power amp inbuilt to them, so you would need to buy that separately to be able to power your record player. And a lot of record players, again, don't come with inbuilt speakers, and the ones that do come with inbuilt speakers are usually not amazing. So that's something to think about. It's definitely a costly venture, because especially at startup, you know, you need to buy the record player, your speakers. There are good quality things out there for not a lot of money. If you want me to give any suggestions, please leave a comment down below. One of the team will get back to you here. But when you compare that against CDs, you buy a CD and you buy a CD player, and that's kind of you know, the speakers on a CD player can be quite decent, especially bigger CD players. And that's kind of you ready to go. Yeah, so for ease of use, definitely CDs, but as again, it's totally different buying vinyl. You can't really carry a vinyl about in your pocket. Well, not really with a CD anyway, you wouldn't do that nowadays, just use your phone, wouldn't you? I used to carry a CD player around in my pocket, and you had to walk a certain way or else the record would, the CD would jump. Good times. What about the cost of the records themselves? If you go into HMV or FOP, or any other kind of big brand music shop, it's going to be expensive. New records can cost you up to £40+, which is quite expensive, especially if you're like me, just working class and earning the money you can to get by in life, to pay your bills, and this is a little luxury on the side. It can be dead expensive, but don't worry, there are ways around that. I myself and most of the team here at Erskine Arts only really shop at second-hand record shops. Pre-owned or pre-loved is the way to shop. Yes, it might be a bit more difficult to get those brand spanking new vinyl from the bands that you love, but it will be a lot more affordable to get a huge catalogue of music that you might not even have thought of, and certainly your big chains probably won't even stock. If you live where I do in Paisley, you're close to Glasgow, and in Glasgow, please check out Missing Records, Love Music, Record Fair, love Record Fair. Where else have we got? You've got Monorail as well to check out their vinyl, and there's more in the West End, so that's kind of your main players in the city centre. All great places to go, check them out. What about care then? Care of your vinyl. When you buy a CD, the most care you have to take is make sure it goes back in its case and don't scratch it. Although sometimes I think if you even look at a CD the wrong way, it becomes scratched. When you buy a vinyl, there is a bit more to think about. So when you buy a vinyl, people say you should buy an anti-static brush so that dust doesn't get in the grooves, and that's how you get that famous scratchy sound that you hear when a vinyl goes round. You can get vinyl sprays that clean the grooves. I mean, they are physical grooves, physical indents inside a vinyl, so debris and dust and dead skin and juice. Please don't spill juice in your vinyl. But things can get in there, so you do need to have a bit of upkeep. And when it comes to storing vinyl, you don't want loads of them stacked on top of each other, because as just with the nature of it, the weight of the bottom ones, you know, it could break them. And don't have loads stacked side by side either, like loads. I've got a few here, but not loads and loads, because again, the weight. So they're definitely heavy and a bit more awkward to stack. CDs you just kind of fire in any way you want, but it's something to think about. So there's a few things, a dead quick video. I didn't go into too in depth into everything. This is just a little intro to it. Basically, if you like the look of vinyl, if you know you've looked up a record player, you know, if you just want your favourite band's vinyl because it looks pretty, then buy it, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't or you need the best of equipment to play it. It's just not true. Everyone can enjoy vinyl at any sort of budget. In future videos, we'll probably go more in depth in, you know, analog versus digital music, CDs versus vinyl versus tapes, or well, maybe not tapes. And we'll go more into in-depth and maybe some suggestions for record players that you could buy and speakers, but this has hopefully been an okay wee introduction for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Check out our other videos. We have a whole playlist of us talking rubbish about vinyl records. So if you do want to check that out, the playlist is, I think it's actually here. It's called the Vinyl Countdown, clever. And we have other podcasts and stuff as well. Check it out, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later on.